Vanessa, very rarely have you and I been on exactly the same product 1 week apart. So
yes,
you were on the brand new AmaMagna.
Yes, and you were then AmaMora
the week after. And so this is going to be very interesting, folks. I'm telling you right now, because I was completely blown away. And I'm not being paid to say this. I was absolutely blown away by the service. And you had a similar experience.
Oh, I mean, AmaWaterways has always done a very, very fine job. But over the years, and I try and sell them every few years at the least, I've seen the elevation of the brand and the little extra touches and all the beautiful things they do, the surprises, the delights for the client. And then thrilled to go on the AmaMagna because I've been speaking and writing about this ship for 2 years.
Yeah.
I was so delirious about seeing it. And she lived up to her expectations. She is magnificent. Remarkable achievement by Rudy and Christine.
Okay.
Particularly Rudy, who curated the product.
He designs the actual ships.
Yeah.
He's sort of, I look at them as he's the hardware, she's the software.
Correct.
Yeah. But they are both remarkable in how they take a personal interest in every detail. And my experience was that the crew respond to that in such a personal way. Nothing was forced. I mean, I just looked around and someone was, bringing me whatever I wanted.
It comes very naturally to them, I think. And the fact that it is a family focus and they are so immersed, as is Gary Murphy, the other family members, and also the outside investors. They're all very immersed in building the brand and building the service on board. But, the suites on AmaMagna are 355 square feet. That is bigger than huge. Some of the luxury suites on some of the luxury brands. Beautiful, beautiful suites. But it's the service ethos and the ethic, I think, and how they do so many things and how they don't ever scrimp. They don't ever worry about, well, shall we remove this?
Yes.
No, let's add it in. Let's make it better for the guest. Let's do something even more special.
It's remarkable. It really is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of talking to Christine on board and asking her exactly about that. How do they achieve that sort of culture amongst the entire company? So let's hear from Christine.
Well, first of all, we are very, very fortunate that we were able and are able to surround us with people and team members, family members, I can say, that share the same values and goals that we share. Everyone is in for the customer and they do it by heart. We hire by heart and attitude.
So Vanessa, tell me a little bit more about the double wide ship.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to see it. It's almost, it almost needs to be a little longer, but it's not ever going to be longer. So when you go into some of the spaces, particularly the main lounge on the main level, you can hardly see around some of the corners to see that there's people tucked away because it's so wide and back.
Oh, interesting.
It's not as long. And I think if they did another ship, they might make it a little longer, but it's exquisite. The alfresco restaurant at the top, it's an interesting design too, Nina, because you go into the main lounge and you go down a few steps and you've got 2 libraries, a cinema, and then this alfresco restaurant. But you're not down a whole deck, you're down a partial deck. It's quite interesting. Alfresco is fantastic.
Is it?
The chef's table is now not at the aft, it's downstairs across from Jimmy's. I think Jimmy's is still a work in progress, although Rudy disagrees with me, and of course it's Rudy's cruise line. But Christine and I had a few little chats about Jimmy's, and I had mentioned one thing to them. I said, what about if you did this? And the very next day I went there, it was done.
Wow.
She had agreed with me, and she said, that's a good point, we're going to do that.
So Vanessa,
I love that about them.
Exactly, but I want to ask you about that because sometimes I wonder if people are on extra special behavior because it's an inaugural. And of course, there was the christening, and I had the pleasure of spending the week with Libby Rice, the godmother of the AmaMora. So I that's what I question. If I were on a regular cruise, would it be any different?
I don't believe so, and I've done enough regular cruises as well as special cruises to sort of denote, no, that's not really the case. They are so thoughtful and careful all the time. They also do this sip and sail happy hour now.
Yes.
So as an example, in Vienna, some people were going off early to go and get ready for the concert. So they had a sip and sail cocktail hour for those people, and then they had an early dinner and off they went. And then those of us who stayed behind we had our regular dinner hour, and we had a sip and sail cocktail hour.
And that brings to mind the excursions.
Yes.
And I heard, because we also had regular paying clients on the ship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
And I heard a lot of comments about the fact that the excursions are so flexible.
Yes.
You can pick and choose what you want, and you don't have to sort of go to A, B, or C. Within A, B, and C, you had other options. So it was extremely easy to, and especially I was having a bit of a mobility issue.
Yes, you had painful moments. Yes.
And it was so flexible to be with a slower group. So anyway, I'm blown away.
They have aced it. They are getting better and better and better. They're as luxurious as you can be without being all-inclusive. They don't need to be all-inclusive.
That's what they said,
It's a deluxe product. It's a superb product. It gets better all the time. They're constantly tweaking it. And I think the travel agents just need to pay more attention to AMA Waterways, because they are one of the finest brands on the European and Asian rivers. They truly are. I commend them so much. And they're such a delight to work with.
And they are.
That's the key. They're very good to work with.
And
agents.
Let's hear from Christine one more time before I let you go, Vanessa, because it's nice to hear directly from one of the founders and their philosophy around the product.
Indeed.
It's the luxury of space. No matter if it's the AmaMagna or the AmaMora or the other sister ships we have built in the past, our guests are looking for very spacious accommodation. So many of our staterooms are more than 250 square feet large. On the AmaMagna, even more than 355 square feet. That's the average size. But it's also about beautiful restaurants, dining choices. It is about the quality of food, the quality of the wine. It is about the personalization, the tours, the shore excursions, and it's all about these small groups, different walking paces, catering to the special interests of every single guest. And this is what AmaMora stands for.
Thanks for coming in as usual, Vanessa. I look forward to our next Cruise Factor.
Thank you, Nina. Always a pleasure.